Hello folks, the moment you have waited for is here. You can now start booking, paying your deposits for Collective Live, or you can get your early bird and pay for the whole thing in one go. So I'm going to take you through, and there'll be a link for this in my post. But again, if you look here at the top, bighitmerch.com/collective-live-deposit. But when you go on the bighitmerch.com, if I just show you here, bighitmerch.com, just like so, should look like this. When you scroll down, Collective Live deposit page. Our Christmas CDs are also available there as well, but your Collective Live deposit page is here. So you can go in there. It gives you some information about Athena and gives you a link to the actual venue, which is where we're obviously holding it. Gives you your date, so August 5th through 7th, which a lot of you already know, and the deposit information. I'll just quickly zoom in so you can read this, and I just want to explain a couple of things. So what we're doing is at the moment is a deposit of £30. Okay, you'll have to work out what that is. Again, it'll work out down below if it's in US dollars. It'll work out what the correct amount is in US dollars on current exchange rates. So £30 will secure your place. Okay, if you want to pay in advance on an early bird rate, that's £75 if you know you're definitely coming. Now, you might be looking at saying non-refundable, just to explain a little bit about that. We have the venue itself. We've signed a contract with the venue, Athena, and we have various stages. And those of you who've done events will know this. And obviously, we're not a business, so it's signed up on my name. So currently, I owe Athena for a certain amount of money at certain points of time. The first point of time is the end of November. So in about a month's time, I need to pay them the deposit, which is 20% of the final amount of money. So we need those deposits in. Now, say, for example, that three of you decided to pay your deposit. So 3 people said they were going to come. Hopefully it's going to be a few more than that. Obviously, we wouldn't then be able to have Athena as a venue. We'd be able to, for example, run Collective Live in my studio if there's only 3 of us. But therefore, we'd still owe Athena, because we signed a contract, that 20% deposit. So that 20% deposit is owed. Okay, which means we need those deposits in from you. And I'll come to some other points in a minute. So that's why it's non-refundable. Because, for example, if in December something comes up and now you can't pay, we've already paid that money to Athena to secure the venue. Okay, doesn't mean we then still have to pay the other installments, which is why if you can pay the full amount earlier, that means we have a little bit more security going in. Now, we think at the moment, about 140 or 150 people to basically come and register for the whole weekend, for us to basically afford the core costs of the event, the venue itself. Now, if this is worst case scenario, which hopefully will not happen. If, for example, we got 100 people who signed up on the deposit by the end of November, we would then have to make a decision. We'd still pay Athena their 20% deposit, which we have to. Then we would basically, then the next time, I think is January, February time, when we have to pay them the next instalment. We'd have to look from those 100 people what we'd want to do. We'd need to either find about 50 more people and sign them up and kind of promote and make sure that they're coming along, or we'd have to potentially look at a different venue. We would not be able to get that money back from Athena, but with less people, we'd have to therefore do what we can. So Collective Live will be happening, whatever, it will be happening, 100% on that date, and we want Athena, which is why we've signed a contract. So that's why monies that are paid, even if you paid the early bird at £75, that money is already not going to have been spent, if you know what I mean, but it's gone to the venue. Okay, so that's why all amounts are non-refundable. Now, you could potentially transfer that onto someone else. If you knew someone else, so if you weren't coming and someone else would, then you can organise that. And again, there's going to be no charge for like changing your name across. Like sometimes if you do it with a flight or something, it costs a lot of money to change names across. That's not going to be an issue here, so you could move it to somebody else, but we wouldn't be able to refund that because obviously that already is needed. And we're already trying to make it as good value as possible. So yeah, hopefully you understand why the non-refundable bit, because obviously that money is there now. And what I don't want, and I'm sure you'll understand, because I've had to sign the contract currently, all of those amounts of money are like personally on me. So obviously, please do deposits and stuff, because that'd be cool. Otherwise, I will have a very lean Christmas. But no, it'll be fine. So we already kind of know that quite a lot of people are wanting to come. But yeah, so 140, 150 is kind of our break-even number. We are doing a youth amount, so a £10 deposit to secure their place, and £30 for them for the whole weekend. Again, we're wanting to keep on kind of supporting our young people, and it would be lovely to see as many of them as possible. I know we had a rehearsal with Collective Youth at the weekend just gone, which was fab to see them, and I know some of them are looking to come and visit, potentially with family. There will be more information, so family and friends, perfectly fine to come. Okay, there will be, nearer the time, day rate. So there'll be, for example, a day ticket nearer the time. So, for example, if you pay a deposit of £30 and you can only come for a day, probably, I'm imagining, don't quote me on this, probably a day ticket, for example, the Saturday, might be something like £30, or maybe might be like £25, that kind of neck of the woods, okay? So there'll be day tickets. So if you're over there thinking, oh, what happens if, still pay that deposit. Okay, and that's going to definitely cover for you for at least one, if not slightly more, days than that. Again, family members would have to do a registration. However, we're going to try, again, just touch wood, hopefully we're going to be running a show on the Saturday night featuring the Collective, of course, and other acts, and there will be a limited amount of ticketed seating. So, for example, your family and friends, if they're not that worried about coming to the all the other stuff that's going on, like convention type, conference type stuff, but they do want to hear us sing and they want to kind of go to that, then there's going to be the ability to buy tickets for that. But if your family or friend would actually like to meet a lot of the people you've been chatting to, they would need to get a registration as well. And again, if you want to do that now and do that at 75, that's absolutely fine. But again, that's completely your choice. And there will be some day ticket options. There'll be some show ticket options coming along. Okay. Obviously, you don't have to pay for the show ticket because you'll be in it, which is very positive. So the early bird discount's up until the end of this year, 31st of December. After that point, it'll probably go up a little bit, just to kind of incentivize some of you to kind of be able to give us that little good working capital to start looking at some of those fun things that we want to be doing. Again, there are some disabled facilities at the venue. Again, we'll make sure that as we know if people are coming who have kind of mobility issues or any kind of disabilities, we'll be working through with that. So there is some questions. If you have got any questions at that point, submit them, and we will get those questions sent through to us, and then we can start answering those questions. Obviously, there's some photo gallery. Can I just point out that this website, Big Hit Merchandising, is basically it's Debbie Neith's friend Gary, who set all this up for us. Basically, not for nothing, and he's just done it because he's lovely and he loves what we're doing and the fact that we are like a free enterprise, and he's helped out. So thank you very much to Gary. There'll be more information about Gary coming soon, but he's lovely. Thank you very much. You can, if you don't have PayPal and you want to pay any of that amounts with Visa or MasterCard, then you can obviously go through there. And you'll see here, nice and big, you've got your deposit for 26 and over at 30, and you can basically do it with PayPal, or you can click there for Visa or MasterCard or any other options. You've got the under 26 £10. If you want to do your full payment, then you go through there, and your full payment for under 26s, you go through there. Now, that is all of it so far. However, some of you might be there. We are actually going to be doing, and we haven't mentioned this much, but we're going to be doing quite a lot of live streaming from the weekend. We are aware that for some of you, you might not be able to come. It might be too much money with where you live. For example, you might live on the other side of the earth, and you just might not have the kind of the airfare and stuff. And again, as much as I'd love to help with that, we obviously can't help with travel and accommodation costs and things like that. But you might want to therefore still be kind of part of it. And obviously we'll have some costs with the live streaming. So we're going to try and do quite a lot of live streaming. The concert, for example, on the Saturday live stream. And we'll probably have quite a lot of live streaming with members of the music team, kind of doing some live streams kind of from phones and from static cameras and things. And so really you can still be tuning in at certain points during the weekend, and probably quite a lot of it during the weekend, and kind of still kind of taking part from home. Again, it started as a virtual choir, and we'd love you all to be there with us. If you want, now you could, for example, just say that you want to pay a straight £75 deposit, but that would be odd if you're not exactly coming along. But if you do want to donate towards that, now either because you want to come as a live stream, or you want to donate because you basically want to help support all the stuff that we want to do, then you can then donate to that. And again, there's no set amount, but if you wanted to donate to help things run, or again, we did mention, and again, there's going to be more information coming about if people are slightly short as far as if they have any financial difficulties and they'd like a little bit of support or whatever, those types of things, then obviously we can look at trying to help some people, but again, also just help us do things in the event. So if you want to donate, now you can donate even if you've paid your early bird, if you pay it, but you want to donate to kind of help support above and beyond that. There is no pressure to, but if you want to, that would be fabulous. Obviously, this is like the biggest thing we'll have done so far. So obviously, we're putting all our kind of apples in the basket of Collective Live. We've still got Christmas, and we've still got the Collective 2-year project to look at. But obviously, we're kind of looking towards Collective Live. We want to do the streaming stuff. We want to be able to get some kind of technological solutions in there to involve you. And all these little things, all of them basically give us opportunities to do things. But again, all those things do have some cost implications. So if you want to donate and support, even if you can't necessarily attend, that would be amazing. But as ever, no pressure. So you have the ability to do this from now, folks. So you can go in and sort that from now, and you can basically get your ticket for Collective Live, which should be absolutely amazing. There's lots and lots of organisation, lots of things, lots of information that will be coming. There's going to be all sorts of things, so very exciting it is too. So if you haven't already, for example, got your Collective Christmas album, it'd be lovely to get some more sales on that. So you can go into bighitmerch.com and you can click and get your Collective album. So you can get your Collective CD, you can pre-order. And again, remember that pre-orders at the £13, it's going to go up to £15 in the next 2 days. So you've got 2 days with your Collective CD to get your pre-order in before it goes up to £15 instead of £13. So yeah, so all positive. All positive stuff, folks. So I hope you're as excited as I am about Collective Live. Lots and lots of exciting information to come over the next few months. And yeah, so if you can, to make sure we can secure our venue, to make sure that we can start putting some plans in place for our chosen venue of Athena, please make sure you get in there, start paying either those deposits or those kind of early bird full payments. And we shall see you in Leicester in August 2022. So a doot-de-doot to all of you folks. Thank you very much. And yeah, any questions, click that button. See you later.